Welcome back to the Tide Area Maker. This is Mike, and I'm coming at you with another video. And this time I'm talking to you about the Jabba Sail Barge and how hard is it going to be to get one of these when they finally release it. Now, most of these videos that I make, I've been talking to collectors that anticipate getting a barge in, showing you what I'm doing with my display and all of that fun stuff. But I haven't really been talking to the people who aren't getting a barge and now kind of want one. So there's a lot of speculation out there, and of course this video is my personal speculation, but I would actually like you to come back to the video in 6 months and see that I am right. But think about it like this. There's millions of Star Wars collectors and only 8,800 barges backed. So there's going to be a lot of people out there looking for one of these. And what are your chances of getting one come the beginning of April? All right, so the next thing I want to talk about is pre-orders. Now, I do not ever pre-order on eBay. So the people that bought an extra barge, theoretically, are putting up their extra barge or just the one barge they bought or the 5 barges. And they're putting up for pre-order. But the problem with doing a pre-order is, depending on how far in advance, if you bought it, let's say you bought it 3 months in advance, eBay is not going to protect you anymore if they never ship that to you. I don't ever sell pre-orders on eBay, and I never buy pre-orders on eBay. And because I've seen too many problems happen with the video game industry. Now, this is the first time we've had a Haslab, and I really didn't pay attention to how Matty Collector stuff went. But I know that when it comes to your, with like the Nintendo Switch, I bought an extra Switch, and I was planning on selling it, but I didn't throw up a pre-order, but I was watching all these pre-orders go for $1,200. Then I heard down the road a lot of people not getting theirs when they were released. They weren't getting shipped to them, and they're having to fight, and a lot, sometimes losing. So I would never do a pre-order on these things. And as you can see, the average pre-order is about $1,500 going plus or minus. About 25 have already been sold, and there's about 25 more on pre-order right now. Now, once the barge is actually released, the barge is going to, there's going to be all the people with the extras out there, and they are going to go through the roof on the number, the quantity. So let's say that there's 25 now. Is there going to be 100? At least 100 will be on eBay the first month. So like March 15th, you dial in, and there's going to be maybe 1,000, 100, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, who knows. What that happens will drive the price down. So you're not going to be seeing $1,500 pre-orders. The cheapest I've seen actually was like 1,000. But I think there'll be a bunch of them that go for like $700, which is a break-even point. If you do the math on it, the opportunity cost of having your money tied up for a whole year for $500, you do the eBay fees, the PayPal fees, and all that. $700 is a break-even point for anyone who paid $550 to start and then sells it to you for $700. They're breaking even. So that's basically just giving you the barge. If you get one for $7. And I have a feeling there'll be a whole bunch of people that do that for whatever reason. They need the money now. They've been sitting on it. They want to try to recoup some of their costs. I think 1,000 is probably the cheapest on average. I think there'll be 2 or 3 that drop to 700, and you'll be like, oh, how come I missed out on that? But then easily get one for 1,000 to $1,200. And then 6 months from now, you're not going to be able to get them for that, because once those people that want to get rid of them right away sell through, then they're gone. And there's only a few on, like 15 or 20, and they're all wanting $2,000. There's been some debate as to how many barges actually got produced or will be produced. And the reason for that debate is pretty simple, because it says 8,810 were produced. They also say they're producing more for a small run for international. But I also know a handful of people that didn't get their payment to go through. And if it wasn't for me talking to them every day about it and them calling calling Haslab and getting their payment situation straightened out, with one of my friends was at the very last day that he could have got it done. If he had waited till that following Monday, then he'd have been out of luck. So I guarantee you about 500 fell through payment-wise for one reason or another. Then you also have, so that's 8810 down to like 83, and then they have some more. So I think 10,000 are actually getting produced. So I'm not fooling myself. I think there's about 10,000. I wish they number them, but who knows. Next thing I'd like to talk to you about is the packaging. Now, it looks great. This is the vintage style packaging, and the first run is the only one that's going to have the vintage style packaging. So they reserve the right to do another production run down the road if they ever do, and put in another packaging and let online retailers have it. But even if they do that, there's no way it'll be 500 again, 550. They would be producing it for 800, 900, way more than the initial run. So even if you do spend too much buying this one, you have the best one, because you're going to get some weird looking box down the road. And I personally don't even keep those boxes or collect those boxes. I try to get rid of them. So next I want to talk to you about packaging. Now this is going to be a huge box. And so we're already included, the shipping's included in the cost initially. But if you're buying it secondhand from eBay or something, then you're going to have to pony up like another $100 in shipping to get this big box shipped. Now I actually think you could ship it for like 60, because I've bought and sold some stuff and shipped some stuff, and I think about 63 or something, somewhere in the U.S. Most places in the U.S. from U.S. to U.S. Is pretty good shipping. International shipping, you're looking at $200 or $300. I'm sorry, but that's just the way it is. Plus customs and all that stuff, depending on where you're located. So I'm sorry to those that are international buyers of this. And although there are some means to get it, there's not very many that is going to be available for that. So next, there's a lot of people that sell just their yak face. And if you're selling, they're selling just the yak face out of it, or they're selling the yak face and the barge separate. That means it's been opened up. Now, the actual box itself, the Vintage Collection box itself, can open up. There's no tape on it. There's no way to tell 100% whether it's been opened and messed with or not. So that is a challenge. The only way to know that you truly got a sealed one is that the outer shipping box has not been opened. And so that's an issue. I would want to get the whole deal, not one missing a yak that's already been messed with. Who knows what else has been taken out of there. Because you probably won't be able to tell right away if a part's missing. And if a part is missing and it's Haslab left it out, then what? Like there's no other barges out there allegedly. Do they have a back stock of parts? So lastly, I just want to say, if you're in the market to get one of these, you weren't in on the initial run, then you have a chance to get one. But remember what I said, to get a one with everything in it sealed. Try to get one of them. Wait till about the 15th of March. And that'll probably be between the 15th and the 30th of March, right around that time frame. We'll get flooded, and there'll be people undercutting each other on price. 6 months from now, this thing is those will be worked through. And lastly, we have Toy Fair coming up this weekend. So I predict they're going to announce Haslab Project number 2, which will be a Transformers project, which will be Unicron. We'll see. Like, subscribe, Tydarium Hanger. Out.